When it comes to picking out a rod for pulling planer boards, your options are really endless, and I want to go over a few things that I like to look for when I'm picking out a planer board rod. So this rod here is a rod that I've been using for a few years now, and this is a Cast King wide-eye trolling rod, 8'6". I really like this rod, and I'm kind of basing all my features off of this rod here. So when I'm picking out a rod, the first thing I'm going to be looking for is the length of the rod. I like a rod that's over 8 foot long. This one here is an 8'6", and I think that's right around the perfect size. The biggest reason for that is it complements the action really well, which we'll get into that next. The other thing that I like about a longer rod is it gets your lines up off the water as far as possible. You see I have my rods tipped way back right here. Mostly for the reason when you're in waves on Lake Erie or any lake really. If you have your lines up high as possible, you're not going to get as many lines crossed or tangled, so it's another reason why I like a longer rod. The next thing I'm going to be looking for is the action. I like a moderate action rod. A moderate action rod is a must for me, mostly for when you're in bigger waves. When you're in bigger waves, this rod is actually going to bend a lot more, and it's going to pull them boards up over them waves. And if you're using a stiff rod, your board's going to kind of come up over the wave and jerk right into the next one. You're going to see your boards jumping out of the water a lot, and that's something I do not like. I don't like having that at all, especially when I'm pulling spinners or even cranks really. It's a lot more jerky if you're using a stiffer rod, and I think a moderate action rod is the way to go for pulling planer boards. Another reason, when you're out on Lake Erie or any lake really, you have a big fish on, 8 to 10 pound fish. Their head shakes are very violent, and a moderate action rod is going to take a lot of that. And when they come up to the boat and get right up under it, they're going to start taking them runs, and this moderate action rod is going to take a lot of that shock. Along with, playing with your drag with them big fish, all of that's going to help. But a good rod is really going to help that also. The last thing I'm going to be looking for is a telescopic rod. It's something super simple, but you can break it down right there. You have over probably 20 inches or so that this rod's going to break down. It's just something I like, just to be able to put it in the rod lockers, just put it in your truck even if you're going fishing with someone else, and they're just a lot easier to store. So that's a few things that I look for when I'm picking out a planer board rod, whether you're trolling cranks, spinners, even flatline trolling. This rod right here, all them features, that's what I like to look for in a planer board rod.